What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo, and in today's video, we're diving into the newest released album from Kelsea Ballerini, which is Patterns. I'm super excited to dive into this. This will be my first full project of hers. I have done an album reaction to one of her EPs. Obviously, there's only a handful of songs there, not the same. So I'm really looking forward to today's album. I actually have heard Cowboys Cry 2 with Noah Kahan. I actually just watched them perform that live on the CMAs. What a sick performance. And also shout out just how famous Noah has gotten. It's incredible to watch. He looked like, I don't know, he just looks so excited to be up there. So I'm really looking forward to this. Obviously, we're not going to do Cowboys Cry 2 because I have a full video for that. But before we dive into today's video, I just want to plug my Patreon because you guys can watch this as a full uncut album listening party over there on Patreon right now if you're watching this on YouTube. That means that there's no ads, nothing's cut out, and it's more of like just a raw reaction where we jam the album together. YouTube's always a little bit more of a like chopped up version, a little bit more cleaned up. There, you know, I take a lot of the stuff out for copyright and things like that. So if you guys are interested at all in supporting me, as well as checking out the album, links in the description. Thank you very much. All right, with all that out of the way, let's dive in. The first track is Patterns. Starting with those guitars already. Let's go. Like the blanket on my bed. I got questions, I got whys, I got patterns. Ooh. I love how like emotional that feels. It's got like a little bit of like a dark sound to it, not in like a like creepy way, but almost like there's just this like very like heavy presence in it. They're rolling through my bloodstream. I'm coming apart at the seams. I got patterns. I love that too, because it's kind of just the idea of like there are just certain things that you are accustomed to doing. You seem to follow along on these same trails that end you in similar situations constantly. And you ask yourself, Thomas, why am I doing this? Well, maybe it's just like innately who I am, that I follow along with these things. It leaves me staring at the ceiling, that harmony. And maybe I'm the one to blame for doing the same old thing. But hey, what can I say? I got patterns. Oh, her voice right there? Yes. I got patterns. God, and the way these guitars are, it's so dark right here. Oh, yes. Fucking vocals forever. Oh my God, Kelsea. Damn. God, her voice. I'm going to be so honest with you. I guess like because I've not done like that much Kelsea music, I sometimes forget just how good of a vocalist she is, but she has taken me on a journey in just a handful of minutes already. Damn. Oh. Love that guitar in the back throughout this whole thing. It's so moody. Country music has some of the most intricate songwriting from instrumentation, and I love that it was just played out so well there. Such a moody song to start this off, I gotta say. I'm super into that. Kelsea's voice sounds so amazing through this. Holy shit. And I really appreciate the idea. She even mentions at one point, she says, I thought that one day I would kind of like grow out of all these patterns, but the reality is like we do follow a lot of patterns because they kind of make us who we are, even if they're not necessarily the greatest things in the world for us to be falling down. Some people have some really negative patterns that they may go through in their life, but like at the end of the day, it's just it's a makeup of who we are. We tend to be drawn to these things, and again, you know, maybe it's not always the best situation, but we do kind of fall in love with the feeling of finding out. All right, this next track is Sorry Mom. You just made the eggs and turned your head. Sorry, Mom, you know that I had sex before I bought the white dress. I know you're not impressed with my lack of sticking to the Bible. Yo, I love, like, I'm a big fan of country music. I grew up on country music. I grew up in Houston. Country music is part of me, all right? I love Kelsea's such, like, realness in her lyricism here. It's not often in country music. Well, maybe you are, but maybe not as directly are you going to hear about, sorry, Mom, that you know I had sex before I bought the white dress. Like, yeah, like sometimes country music, well, not always, and I don't want to like, generalize, but sometimes country music can sometimes lean a little heavy on the religious imagery and religious side of things, obviously. And I think that Kelsea even like breaking that down, just like, admitting that, it's like, I don't know. To me, it's cool because I feel like it is something that is not the most common, although I do feel like country music has definitely opened up. There's always been like a sexual tension in country music. Let's just be real. Most songs are about like a relationship and those kind of things. But I feel like it's different whenever you're almost like owning up to things, rather than just like celebrating or talking about possible relationships. So shout out Kelsea.
It's a different cloth we cut, but underneath we're the same blood. So I know it took a little tough love. No, it wasn't cheap tuition. There were dreams to chase and songs.
I also lived that same thing. 2 years of college, did not do anything with it. Finally paid off that student loan though, but what? Woo! Oh, those backing vocals are so sick. That little bit of gravel in her voice is so good right there. Damn. I know I said it in the last song about just how great her vocals are sounding in this, but I guess I didn't realize just how like prominent they'd be on the tracks too. And I'm really a fan of that. There's so many cool ad libs and like so many like just pieces of Kelsea's voice that are just traveling through this. I'm so into it right now.
Guy that we both like, and I got a house with a porch light.
Hey, good for you. Hey, we all have to start somewhere, Kelsea. That's how we become our beautiful selves. Got a little bit of like a classic rock kind of sound in there too, which I'm a big fan of. And again, just talking about that personality, I really appreciate just kind of like this open letter to mom. And like, as you're listening to it, you realize like, oh, we're all not that different from Kelsea, right? Like we're all human. We've all kind of gone through these things, but we also have to realize that while apologizing is one thing, it's important that we do all these things, the mistakes we make growing up and all that shit, because like it really does make us the best version of ourselves as we become adults. I think it's very clear that all the like worst things that ever happened to me have definitely like aided in some of the best things that have happened to me as well. All right, this is Baggage.
For a living.
Hey.
And I don't abide by that 50-pound limit. On that
She said, I make enough money at this point that I'm paying the surcharge.
shelf, I wouldn't want to do with anybody else.
Oh.
Everything that's heavy, I check it at the door. Kinda feel like I don't need it anymore. I got some bones and skeletons.
I love that. Totally a fan of that. I got baggage, but I'm moving in. Look, at the end of the day, the older that we get, the more that we're going to carry around. And Kelsea's just owning it. Like, hey, I got more shit coming, but open up those drawers, open up those closets, let me in, let all of me in, including all of the non-physical things that I'm bringing with me, which is maybe a lot of the shit I've gone through in my life. I know the weight and gravity of keychains with the same keys is such a good lyric. Fuck yeah.
Everything that's heavy, I check it at the door.
That's growth, you know? I feel like in the EP, we were like addressing a lot of the quote unquote baggage that she may have been going through. And it's a really big deal to be able to get to a point where you just fucking own it. And you're like, whoever gets me next, you're getting all of me. Damn, moody as fuck. That's how I'm describing this album right now. Woo!
I'm still here brushing off a couple things. It doesn't scare or bother you, at least it seems.
Oh, that guitar right there.
Thought I could ride like a pro. Never
Damn, those soft vocals she just did.
ride like a pro.
So beautiful.
Never knew I'd have a tell me that. But my first rodeo. High up in the saddle and flying, lay me down under every star shine.
Holy shit.
Tell me that it's gonna be alright.
Dude, all that.
Into the sun.
There's just like just enough intensity in that part. You know what I mean? That like breathiness all comes in. It makes all that emotion kind of come together. Woo-hoo! The way that instrumental just deconstructed itself at the end was fucking sick. I like a track where you can actually feel the emotions coming together. So I feel like I'm kind of like with Kelsey, like kind of witnessing this happening, right? And it's almost like you have these whirlwind of emotions because you truly do feel like you have a connection with someone new, but you didn't think you'd ever have that again. Like you never thought you would ever go all the way to the point of being married once, let alone have a chance to even like try again or try at love again. That is such a hard barrier to break down. But I really love that Kelsey was able to kind of conceptualize that so well in the lyrics, but also sonically connect us to it so much. I felt like I was on a journey in that, including that bridge, which is heavenly, by the way, so fucking beautiful and definitely my favorite part of the song. But I just like that overall feeling like I'm kind of like watching you ride off into the sunset with all the dust kicking up, and you're like, you know, you're worried because you want to be able to give your all to somebody, but you don't know if you can ever do that again. But you might have found somebody that might make you want to, and it's really hard to decide if it's worth it again, but you want to give it a chance. You just want to take it slow because you've already been hurt. Fucking sick. All right. Nothing really matters.
I get existential. I get overwhelmed. Wrong things. Am I cool enough? Got 270 something things to.
It's my whole life, right? Am I cool enough? I like the hardest thing is that I have never been cool. And I think trying to be cool enough, like even to just like be a YouTuber, is really hard sometimes because you're like, man, I'm on a magnifying glass of like knowing I'm not cool, but hoping someone thinks I am, you know?
To reply to. But you know what? Nothing really matters. We're on a rock in space.
Oh, sick.
Nothing really matters. Ain't a test that you
Oh, this
ace.
song opened up right
Nothing really
there.
matters when I'm seeing your face, miss.
Love this.
Nothing really matters. Kiss whoever you kiss. Push all the chatter. Climb your own ladder. 'Cause nothing really matters. Nothing really matters anyway.
It's a super important concept, even though it seems so cliche, to remember that it's true that nothing really matters. Everything that Kelsey just said, talking about all the things you have to reply to, all the, you know, aliens, pyramids, you know, loving who you want. The point is, like, everyone else is going to always have an opinion on you. And at the end of the day, we all have the same fate. And so therefore, like, at the end of the day, we're going to spend so much time on these things that do not matter to us, to the point that we're going to miss out on maybe something that actually mattered in the grand scheme of this very short life that we live.
Now the whole damn place, hey. If it makes you happy, 'cause nothing really matters. We're on a rock in
That drop
space.
is so good.
Nothing really matters. Give your demons some grace. Nothing really matters when I'm seeing your face.
Oh, I love that, because now it's even more than just life. Now it's nothing really matters going on because I have you. Like nothing else could possibly grab my attention because I've got you. There's always a guitar in country music just doing the most, you know? Ooh.
Leave the rest to fate.
I love that tone. What a great track. Just so like upbeat. And like, come on, like I love like a happy bop about just recognizing that like, it doesn't matter if people think you're cool, and it doesn't matter if you're worried about what people say about your lifestyle or anything, because at the end of the day, we're literally floating on a rock through space. This is crazy as shit. You know what I mean? Like we might as well embrace the things we love that truly make us happy for the time that we are here, which is why I'm doing this.
It's the road, and life goes how it goes, and we're not new.
Oh my God.
Away my money, would you back away if my jokes weren't funny?
You know she's gonna kill it in a love ballad. Come on.
Let me ride on.
Think about this. Just like we talked about in First Rodeo, right? If you've already been through all of this shit in your life in one relationship, and you're about to embark on possibly a second one, you're gonna start wondering like, Are you going to love me when I'm no longer myself? Are you going to love me when I'm at my worst? Are you going to love me if I'm no longer famous? I mean, these are questions that are important. If the world's about to end and like you only have moments to spend with someone else, or to spend with somebody, are you going to drive to me to be there? These are all the kind of things that, like, when you are about to, again, embark on a relationship, you got to be so nervous in this moment, because it's like, if things are good right now, if we have this like quote unquote honeymoon phase and things are so good right now, you're going to want to hold on to that. Right. But like that will fade at some point, because like the newness wears off, and then you have a relationship, and that's the one that, takes, work and stuff. And it's a lot to embark on. Like sometimes you don't know. I really like the word embark today, but sometimes you don't know.
You get in your car and drive to me. Would you back away if my jokes weren't funny? Would you laugh? But sue me for asking how much?
I feel like that's a fair question. You know what I mean? Like if you're about to like give it all to somebody again, I would want to know, like, are you really going to love me for the long haul? Are you really going to like embrace this life with me long term, She's giving us like the vocal Olympics right now, and I'm so into it. She loves a love ballad.
Do you love me?
Again, I mean, I don't even know that much of her music, although I'm not gonna be able to say that much after the end of this, but I can tell she really likes a love ballad, like an emotional ballad. Although like this has some upbeat parts, I still feel like it has like a ballad type of feel. And I really appreciate the vulnerability. I feel like breaking character and saying like, how much do you love me? How much do you love me? Would you still love me? Or, do you love me? Like just asking that question, then kind of like breaking that character and like answering that question is like really cool. She did that in one of the verses. And again, it just leads to that like very personal delivery. Feel like I'm just sort of like watching somebody, be nervous, because you have to be nervous whenever you're getting into a situation like this. You have to be nervous about like, is this really going to be something that you're going to care about in 30 years? Because the first person that I tried this with didn't. And that's, like I said, somebody who's going to follow you to death. That's who you want. All right, two things.
In bed were messy from the night before. Some flowers at the door.
Woo!
We said that it was over. Would you send them for? If I'm being honest, let them sit outside at 7:01. Except for that one, I pressed between those 2 pages of Hemingway poems we love. Probably.
Like I feel like I could I saw her voice come out of this part right here. I feel like you'll hear it.
I pressed between those 2 pages of Hemingway poems I'll be your blessing and curse, baby. Sometimes I'll
Holy shit. What?
Worst day. I'll be your blessing and curse, baby.
Like, I don't know. Has Kelsey done any like rock covers? Any like, I wouldn't say like a metal cover, but any like rock, classic rock, anything that has like a rock adjacent sound? Because she is testing the waters in this. Multiple times I've heard that a little bit of that like gravel kind of sound that I love so much, that comes from, obviously like rock and soul, things like that. But I definitely need to hear her doing more of this, because it's so sick right here.
Can be true. Can be true.
We're gonna drop that. Let's go. Oh, okay. That is what we call teasing. Oh, there it is. Oh, this instrumental is building right here. Woo!
When it comes to me and you.
Come on. My eyes are green, your jeans are blue. I wish it were that easy when it comes to you. Like, imagine, I know that anyone who's been in a relationship, anyone who has been just like, I don't know if you necessarily have to be in a relationship, but like there's somebody that you have like been in love with, right? But like at the same time, you fucking hate them too. You can't stand their guts. And what happens is you're so drawn to them, but like, you know, that it's just like, it's never going to work out, but you want to because you love them so much. And so you try, you know, and you try and you realize that it's never going to be that simple as the color of my eyes, the color of your jeans. It's always got to be some bullshit. But like, at the same time, you're consistently trying to either fight for that person or like, you know, checking the locations of this person to make sure they're okay because you love them. You want them to be okay, but you also just can't fucking stand them. Oh, I need a rock cover for sure. I wish I knew all the words so I could just sing all the songs.
There was nothing to complicate. God, we were really something. It is okay.
Love how that just built in right there. Fuck.
We were really something. Almost made it all the way, but we didn't, and it is what it is. Okay. Details. I could hide,
oh yeah.
Cry till I throw up. Take a stroke, camera roll, old emails. But
I love this instrumental so much for her. I have seen so much happening in country music where there's been this addition of almost these like pop and hip hop style like drums and like hi-hat patterns and stuff. And I'm really a fan of it because I personally feel like it's such a modern sound. It's upbeat, catchy as fuck. And you really get to appreciate the vocals of the artist at the same time. And I think Kelsea is killing it on a track like this.
Wrap my head around it. It's as simple as we broke up.
Dude, I love how she brings that in right there. And also, plain and simple, I don't have to go through all the details. I can spare everyone all of it. I'm just going to say plain and simple, cut it out, sweet, you know, short, sweet, to the point. We broke up. I don't need to dive into any of it. Dude, I love how she delivers that right here. Let me take it back a little bit more. I'm so annoying.
But it's as simple as we broke up. I can call my friends and bitch about
Oh, right there.
Write a 7-minute song before what? And it is what it is, okay.
So good.
Old emails, but it's as simple as we broke up. I can call my friends and bitch about it. Write a 7-minute song before what? Tell us all this time I don't gotta wrap my
Oh my God, this song needs so many streams.
We broke up. We broke up. I can call my
It's a fucking party
bitch
anthem.
about it.
What?
Boy driving off mad in a black truck. Tell us all this time I
So
don't
sick.
gotta wrap my
Oh, she is fucking killing it on this song. This is it. This is the one. This is not the two. This is the one.
It's over.
Yo, I feel like you know, this is why I don't have like a job at a record company, because one, I wouldn't want that, but two, how is this not a single? Maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. I don't have, can you tell I don't have my glasses on? I'm like, what the fuck? I can't believe this song is not like bigger. It's got a lot of streams. It's got 2.7 million, but like that Noah contract has 42 million. I know it's been out a lot longer, but this isn't like the second highest stream song or anything. I'm a little shocked. This is such a good song. So if anybody is listening to this, I know I'm not a tastemaker. I don't know fucking shit, but I do know that that song is better than it is getting credit for. So that's my favorite song on this so far. That's so good. I am such a fan of this. Like I love the lyrics to it. Don't get me wrong. Like I love the idea of just simplifying. We broke up. You don't want to like break up with somebody and then give them all the attention in the world. You know what I mean? Sometimes you want it as simple as we're not together anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I also don't want to like prop this person up and like give them a fucking outlet and all this shit. So like, I totally get what she means in those lyrics there, but I love the approach to this because I just said not that many songs ago that I feel like Kelsea should be talked about in the pop space a little bit in those vocals, or at least like see some more of that. And this is exactly what I mean. This is a really good showcase of like doing a little bit more of a pop centric sound, and she fucking crushes it. Like absolutely perfect track through and through. Love the shouted vocals because I'm a big fan of like the crowd vocals. It's because I grew up listening to a lot of punk music, and like if you go see punk bands live, you in the crowd probably sing 70% of the songs with the mic. You know what I'm saying? So like those crowd vocals start to mean a lot. All right. Anyways, I'm ranting. It's really good. All right. This is Wait.
Even when I wanna
Hey.
cry tears as wide as the ocean, but I don't. We buy out like it means I love you.
Oh, so I love what she's saying right there. I feel like when I was younger, this might've been me too. It's almost like you're like, afraid that it's going to end anyways, that like when you start to have a conversation where there might be any like criticism or you feel like the relationship might even be like going in any sort of negative way, it's easier to just explode and leave. It's easier to be like, nope, I can't do this, I'm done, and like exit, than it is to like work on that. And obviously like the longer that you exist, the more that you work on those things to be a better person in a relationship. Ooh. There's so much. I will say, like, I love this instrumental, but there's a lot going on, so it's like a little hard to follow both the vocals and the instrumental right now. Woo! Woo! There's literally so much going on in this. I love Kelsea's vocals though. I'm trying so hard to follow him. You know, it's not like it's that chaotic. I'm being a little dramatic, but I feel like I'm just, maybe there's just like the drums. Something is like really intense in the instrumental. And I feel like in a way it's taking my attention away from Kelsea, which I think is the opposite of what I would want it to do.
At the end of the day, I'm a girl, I'm afraid, turn around, hit the brakes.
Woo!
And now you got me.
Ooh, I'm taking that back. Those vocals are so pretty. Hold on.
Hit the brakes. Ooh, and now you got me screaming on the phone.
Oh, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna rewind it and listen to it again, but I feel like that sounds a little like chaotic right there. Something sounds weird right there. Doesn't it sound like maybe the tempo changes right there? At the end of the day, I'm a girl, I'm afraid, turn around, hit the brakes. Ooh, and now you got me screaming on the phone. I'm screaming on the phone. Woo! I told you. In country music, there's always a guitar doing whatever it wants, and it always sounds good. So I feel like that's definitely going to be a grower on me. I'm gonna have to listen to it some more. I just like could not get into that instrumental, and I really wanted to. You guys know how much I fucking love the instrumental, you know? So like there was something about the timing on that. Maybe could just be me. I tried to listen to it a couple times just to hear that drop to see if it was just me. Like maybe I was like, I don't know. It just feels a little weird, but I'm gonna listen to it some more. So maybe I won't feel that way, but right now and the thing is like, she sounded so good vocally in this. I really wanted to like follow. And like every time I would like start, the drum timing was like pulling me away from that. So I don't know. It didn't make the most enjoyable experience, which is too bad because I think she sounded really pretty in this.
For you to not put back up walls when you're hurting.
Fuck.
You know I'm right to die for you, but if you wanna chase, I won't run. I ain't gonna beg for your love.
Well, I tell you, she loves a ballad. I know she loves a love ballad is what I said, but let's just be real. She really shows up when it's ballad moment. Like I just love her vocals in this, especially with the harmonies and the layers. It just adds so many things. It's so sick.
I wanna go a distance, babe, but can't do it if I betray all the way before you work I've done. I ain't gonna beg for your love.
I feel like that is such it's one of those things where like it's cliche to think like you should never have to beg somebody for love, right? You should never have to like, people are going to love you if they're going to love you. You can't make somebody, right? But like at the same time, you know, when you present everything out there, it is really like important to remember that you can only be the best version of yourself. You can't force anyone to love you. So if you try to be the best person you can in a relationship, that's all you can do. And I love that she's kind of like, at least from where I'm feeling in that, it's kind of saying like, we've set all these things up to be this great thing, but I can't beg you to want to be here. I can't beg you to want to be with me. Oh, also, I just realized, just judging by some of the backing, I don't know if they just left sounds in the back or if it was recorded and like a live studio one take kind of thing. But I always appreciate hearing like ambient noises and stuff because I feel like sometimes music, in its most perfected form, while beautiful, sometimes takes away some of the nuance and rawness of music. Like sometimes you want to hear the studio session, you want to see it live. Music's meant to be heard live.
Follow you to the moon, babe. You know I'm ride or die for you. But if you wanna chase, I won't run. I ain't gonna beg for your love.
I mean, that's the other thing too, is like all the dedication you've already put in to somebody, or everything that you've put in with your life leading up to that, all the experiences that you've gone through, you're going to know exactly what you do and do not want in a relationship, especially when it comes to just wanting to be loved and not wanting to beg to be loved.
If you wanna chase, I won't run. I ain't gonna beg for your love. Asking you to say it back, yeah. It shouldn't have to be like that.
That is, yeah, cheat code status. I feel like you put her in a song that is like slow paced like this, slow burning, and she is going to absolutely deliver. When you put this much effort into a relationship and you realize that you may be coming to the end and the other person maybe doesn't care about you as much as you think, you have to remember that you can't like beg and plead. Some people will, but the thing is, you can't beg someone to love you. Like, even if you want to beg for love, you still can't make someone love you. You still can't force it. And Kelsea doesn't want to experience that again. And if it's what she's going to be in, she is not chasing after somebody. She is not going to put someone else above her in a way that she's ever done before, if that person is not willing to do the same for her. And that is a very hard lesson to learn. It's a lot of growth. And again, her and this cheat code status with this slow burning track, it's fucking everything, dude. Okay, this is deep.
If I even know how to swim, you could save me, maybe I could save myself. And it feels like oceans, oceans around.
I'm starting this chorus over. The way that that note hits the same time those vocals start, that is beautiful.
And it feels like oceans, oceans around me.
Beautiful.
I think I'm drowning.
And that synth,
Got too late to swim ashore.
that drop right there.
I don't need an SOS, I guess, from the waves to the floor.
Okay, this is what I'm saying, man. This shit right here is literally it's the we broke up feeling, right? It's this it's not the same kind of like upbeat thing, but it's got this very modern pop sound. It's got this very modern, like, Kelsey's gonna be included in so many more conversations. I feel like she's got such cool vocals for this, and this style is so sick. And I feel like this album, what I'm noticing, while there's a lot of country sound to it, this doesn't feel like a country album to me. I'm just gonna be real. There's so much crossover. I know we're not done, but tracks like this really stand out in that way. The use of the synthesizer is so beautiful here.
I let you move me east to west. I'm running out of air all over me everywhere. Oh, I'm almost there, and it
Oh, and that
feels
hi-hat roll. Oh, dude, I'm so into this. I'm playlisting that one. Yep, I am so fucking into this. This is such a great sound for her. You know, she's somebody that's, you know, I've multiple times now talked about how great her voice is, but like, it's great in a way that it transcends whatever genres that she's doing. So like, she's got a really awesome, like country music sound. And I also like really appreciate that she always used to like use her accent a lot. What I'm noticing in this though is, while I feel like it's there, it's not as present as before. It almost feels like she has sort of like refined her vocals a little bit. I mean, I'm talking based on an EP, an album, and a handful of singles. So like, you know, wait till I do everything before we go that far. But I feel like there's this like refined sound just in what I've heard. And it almost as if like it is her kind of like crossing over a little bit. Because this album, like I said, so far feels like a heavy crossover album, and I'm very much a fan of that. Cross everything over for me, please. I already have Cowboys Cry 2 as a full video breakdown. You guys can check out on my YouTube channel. So this is Would You?
Come up,
Hey.
'cause that's just what you do when you love someone. Yeah, that's the choice you choose when you love someone. Call a car, hop a plane, never call you insane.
Woo!
I would. Da-na-na-na-na. You hold my beer.
Woo!
That's
Hey,
just what you do.
that is exactly what you do. If somebody does you wrong, hold my beer. I'm going to stand up for you. The whole point, like, dude, when you're that invested in a relationship, you just do things. You know, you would do almost anything for somebody that you're really in love with.
When you love someone, call a car, hop a plane, never call you insane. Foolproof, I would you?
You know, it's kind of, the energy almost is like beg for your love. I know that's going to sound so crazy because these songs could not sound different, but hear me out. In the same way that you would not beg for love, like you get to a point where you don't have to beg for love because you realize that you can't make someone love you. You also can't make someone show up when they should. And therefore showing up would imply love, right? And I feel like in a way, if you're willing to show up, that's you loving them. If they're not willing to show up, that's at that point you are, what are you doing? They're on the chase and you're running, you're going towards them. You're giving them that, I don't want to say power, cause that is such a toxic fucking way to look at like a relationship, but in a way, you know what I mean by that? It's like you're willing to do anything and stand up for somebody and be there for them and do whatever in the world. But like, if they're not willing, in my opinion, that really does show how much they care about you, how much they love you. People who do the things that they're supposed to do are always going to be better than the people that say the things that are going to do, say the things that they're going to say about the things that they're going to do, but then they don't do them, or they don't even care enough to try to do them. Meanwhile, you're giving your all. That's all I'm saying. I feel like it gives beg for your love energy in a totally different way.
Divorced and newlyweds.
Hey.
Yeah, I'd still die for you.
Hey.
Then haunt you when I'm dead.
I fucking, okay. This is great. Solid. Let's do it again.
When we're 95 years old, divorced and newlyweds. I think of
Wait, does that not also go back to, what was the other one? Two things. This is I love you and hate you. It's like, I love you so much that I'll be there with you all the way till the end of your life. But also like after your life, I'm going to haunt you because I love you, but I also fucking hate you.
evergreen on your side. Can't you see, baby, I'm true blue. No conditions, I'd follow you to the moon. Now, Sarah,
I can't tell if we're just singing about like the same person throughout this, or maybe the same concept. Because I feel like this song kind of plugged into a couple other ones.
when you
Shit. Sick riff.
ways, living it down and drinking a lot, but hitting the town didn't hit the spot. But oh, how the tides changed. The devil said hi, but baby, look at me now. I lost a couple good friends, untied a couple loose ends. Look at me now.
Oh, I love that. It's all part of shedding. It's all part of shedding old skin and starting again. Like, I love that because she even says like, and now look at me now. That's the other thing. I sometimes get like caught up in my own head about like, oh my God, my life is like flying by. It feels like sometimes like I'll be like, oh, I just did that yesterday. And it's like, no, dude, that was like 6 months ago. And that can become its own fucking like rabbit hole to fall down. But when I do that, one of the things that I've taught myself, maybe through therapy, but one of the things that I taught myself is to try to like look at some of the things that I've done in that year, because oftentimes, although not always, I'd say the last couple of years, not so much, but now, yeah, doing better. But I feel like oftentimes you reflect on that year and you're like, you've grown so much as a person. Yeah, there's been downfalls, you know, you lost loved ones, you lose relationships, you lose friendships, things like that. But what did you gain long-term? What is it that was like so positive that like made you like reflect on it in a way that made you feel like you were like happy for yourself? Like, it doesn't have to be scary, you know?
A piece of my mind, it gave me a hit to my pride. I came out on the other side. This time I'm free. Thank God that I changed. This time, baby, look at me now. This time,
She did really cool stuff with the vocals in that chorus too.
this time last year.
I feel like even like not knowing a lot about Kelsey as a person, I can hear her growth judging by the concepts of the album and kind of what we've talked about in this song. You can tell that all of that reflection has actually brought her to a better place, even if, maybe going through it, she probably couldn't feel like there would ever be that. I feel like at some point you do end up on a better side of it and you realize like it may have been hard. You didn't want things to change, but like she said at the end there, thank God that things changed, because this is just kind of like the way of life. Life continues to flow whether we want it to or not. Sometimes you just want to change and catch on. All right, this is Did You Make It Home?
Is it the turning of the page? I'm thinking of you as you go.
I told you, this is her secret weapon. You gotta keep her out of these slow tempos. She will break your heart. I feel like that is definitely a callback to two things. Because, there's that conversation that she literally has in that about like checking your location, making sure you made it home. But I feel like this actually has a play on home in a different way. At one point during this album, I don't remember what song it was, but she talked about home being like that place where you're happy, wherever like you're happy or you're with someone that you love, or wherever you're with that love. Finding your safety and finding your happiness, that is your home, right? Or maybe it's with another person. The point is like home is what you make it. It's not always like the house you buy, the city you live in. Sometimes it really is what you're surrounded by and where you're at in your life. And I like this conversation of, did you make it home? So maybe we're not together anymore, but like on the path that you chose, were you ever able to find your home? And like, that is real love, that even if a relationship ends, you know that you will follow that person into the dark. Little pun there. But on a serious note, like you will follow that person into the dark in a way that, you love someone eternally. You're attached to them eternally. So at death, you're still going to find a way after the fact to haunt their ass. Kelsey shows so many pieces of herself. I feel like I learned a lot about her through this. Now, when I did that EP, when was that? That's what I'm talking about. When I say this time last year, I don't even remember when that was. But when I did that EP, I feel like I started to understand a little bit more about her, but that was such a specific EP because it was so much like conversation and commentary sort of around what was going on in Kelsey's life at the time. And I feel like this album has that similar kind of vibe, but it's different still. And so I feel like with that EP, I still didn't fully understand the person that is Kelsey. This record has actually helped me way more because I saw so many different things from her, not only as a person, but also as an artist. Some of the things that really stick out to me, the vocals, I don't care that is like the most easy thing to go to. She is vocally so talented through this. And it is amazing to me what am I even saying? It is amazing to me that she is dominating charts in like country music, and like she's paved her way in country music, right? But like at the same time, she is so effortlessly also making pop hits that sound current, and it's under the guise of being like this, country contemporary crossover album. But like, I feel like Kelsey is giving us so much in the pop space too. And I honestly want to hear more of her in that sound. You guys know I am such a sucker for the yeehaw. I will go down swinging for the country music, but at the same time, real recognizes real. And I recognize that Kelsea Ballerini's vocals are really that fucking good. I love tracks like We Broke Up and tracks like Deep, because I believe that those two things showcase what I am hearing so hard. Like I said, I'm never working at a record label. Who the fuck am I? But I would have chosen one of those songs to be bigger. I would have put visuals behind it. I would have marketed the fuck out of it. I love Cowboys Cry too. I love Noah Kahan, and that track is amazing. That shows a different side of Kelsey though. I would love for other people to get on board with how fucking sick things like We Broke Up are and Deep are, because it really showcases even more. Having said that, Kelsey's secret weapon is not the pop traits. It's not any of that. It is the slow burn ballads. It is those straight up, like, let me just like sing into your soul for a moment with this slow tempo. She does so good at building in, and she has such a personal vocal that I feel like it just makes everything hit even harder. Like you're even more like on every line. I want to hear the next thing she's going to do. I feel like I'm somebody who I'm always listening to the instrumental. Like I feel like the instrumental is such a big part to me, but I loved those slow tempo songs because they really let me get out of that and just like feel Kelsey's vocals. And with the story of this album, which I'm a little confused on, I don't know if this record is about one person or if it's about like one person after everything that happened in her life when she was going through the divorce. So like, I don't know, or if maybe this is more of, there are some like influences in those songs, but these songs are meant to live on their own, which I'm sure that's the case, obviously. But I love the songwriting here because I feel like we got basically a lot of opportunity to talk about what it's like to move on to the next part of your life after you've had love. First Rodeo and Baggage, I feel like were really great opportunities to see that, because Baggage straight up explaining the idea of, you can have me, I'm ready to be with somebody, but I don't come like unempty. Like I'm going to be here with a lot of things that I've gone through in my life, and I want you to love me for that. I hope you have some drawers open for me. But then like First Rodeo is also a really great example of explaining like, look, I need you. I'm going to jump on this ride. I want to be here with you, but I need you to take your time with me because I've had these situations before. But like, then we got to We Broke Up, and like, does that stand on its own or is that part of the story? So a little bit confused, especially because at the end with Did You Make It Home? I feel like that is a direct, like, I feel like that's a direct callback to the entire album. And so, yeah, I think it all sums it up in track 1 though, with Patterns. I think what she's trying to say here is that she's experienced these things before, but she's like not above because she's sort of like connected to the process of it happening. She's not above the idea of kind of going through all these motions again, but maybe just being more careful with her own feelings next time she does it. This is a great fucking record. Like straight up. I will say that the song Wait is really the only track that felt a little off to me. And I think I'm just going to need to listen to it some more because it's got, let me see. Not that this means anything. It's got kind of a lot of streams compared to some of these other tracks that I thought were, in my opinion, maybe better songs. And I wonder if I just need to listen to it some more. Maybe the timing isn't as weird as I think it is, or maybe I'm one of the only people that even cares about that. But nonetheless, that was the only track that I was a little iffy on. The rest of these songs are all so great. I really appreciate, again, the overarching message of just like loving somebody unconditionally, but not being willing. Like you can love somebody unconditionally, but do not be willing to give up yourself for them. If they aren't willing to do the same thing that you are for them for love, it is not worth your time. And I think Kelsey really shows that through this in a most beautiful way. I love this record. And now that I've done this record, if you guys are watching this right now, let me know in the comment section if you want me to do the rest of Kelsey's discography. I don't know how many records there are, but I love this so much that I feel like we should probably do it, because then I can either appreciate this album even more, or maybe I can have even more commentary on kind of like the overarching vibe of this record. I don't know. I want to listen to all of her music. So if you guys don't want me to do it, that's fine, because I'll listen to it on my own. But if you do, let me know. Maybe drop a like. That always helps. Yeah, I need to know what y'all's favorite tracks are on this. So mine are definitely We Broke Up, Deep. Oh, it's hard to pick a third though, because there was like this moment when it's like track after track was nothing but bangers. You know, I think I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to go with First Rodeo, and it's all going to be going back to just her. I feel like that is where she is really understanding that, like, I'm willing to go on this ride again, but I'm not doing it, you know, just fucking blindly. Help me with this. So you guys let me know your 3 favorite tracks, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, if you're watching this on YouTube, I love y'all. If you want to watch it uncut and kind of just like the raw, we're just jamming this fucking album together, Patreon, links in the description. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.